In the last video, I went over starting your booking from scratch and adding your agent, adding your rooms and your people to those rooms. So I'll just go over those two buttons quickly. So I've got my party name, I've got my agent selected from the drop down over there. I've got my status, and my budget is not necessary unless you're working with the budget from the clients. And then I've got my PAX config. So it's just important to remember that you've got your room name over there, room type, and then you can add the amount of people that you want. So I've hit add adults. I've got my dad, I've got my mom. I then pressed add child, and I've got my child over here. I've added in ages for all of them, and then I can add descriptions that'll go to the suppliers explaining, okay, this child needs a high chair or whatever. I don't know why you'd need that for a 5-year-old, but okay. And then I can just say save room details. So for instance, if I have made a very big mess up with my room, you can just go and delete that room over there with a little X, and then I can add a second room this way, but I'm not going to do that for now. Cool. So I can just save my config. I can't save my booking yet because I don't have I haven't added any services. So I'll go and select my day one, and let's go and say they're going to Antrim. Cool. The first time that you're searching for any service, it might take a little bit longer. And then if you start to search the same services, so for instance, your agent uses about 100 or 200 suppliers, it starts to load faster every time. The computer remembers what you want, it caches it, and then it loads up quite nicely. I can look through the photos. Cool. I've got a little bit of a description. We do have what is included. So for instance, do they have aircon? Do they have Wi-Fi? Do they have free parking or charged parking? Or those are going to be showing up as little icons underneath here as we load them. Then I've got, we call this my service selector, and I've got my drop down of all of the services. If you do see the name of the supplier showing up over here instead of the service type. So for instance, if this were to say just Antrim Villa, please just screenshot it and send it to support query so that we can go and amend that. It just means that in Tourplan, there was an issue when it was loaded. So that just needs to be corrected from Tourplan side. Okay. Then we've got the details, telephone number, fax number, all of that good stuff. This is also found in the supplier section and in the rates section. So we do have this in multiple sectors. So I can then go and choose, let's say, double room only. It's going to show my group cost, my group sell, and then I can always go and show my room cost if I want over there. And I can say select. Okay, now let's say I have booked 2 rooms, or I have, set up 2 rooms. But in this case, I want maybe the standard room for mom and dad, and then I'm going to book a luxury room for granny and grandpa, which are in the second room. Then what I can do is both would show up under here. By default, it wants to book 1 room for each of the couples. So I would just go and actually exclude granny and grandpa's room from this because I only want a standard room for them. So then I would go and exclude granny and grandpa's room, and then I would say this one night, yes, that's fine. Do they have any special remarks that need to go to the supplier regarding this, or anything going to the clients regarding this? No. So I'm going to go and say save. Now let's say I wanted to go and add the second room, which is my fictitious room that's granny and grandpa's. I can go and click on the open space. Then I'm going to look for Antrim. See how nice and quickly that loaded up this time. And then I'm going to choose the luxury room, and I'm going to go and say select service. And in my example now, this would be the room that I'm choosing for granny and grandpa. So I would exclude the parents' room from this. So now I've booked 1 room for granny and grandpa, 1 room for the parents. The luxury room is for granny and grandpa, and the standard room is for the parents. Okay, I would just go and say add service, and then I can save my booking. Thanks.